Hey everybody, Live Lock here again, twice in 1 week. Got another video because I started an Enhancement Shaman and I am pretty into it. So I wanted to just give like a first impressions video like I did with the Prot Paladin forever ago. But I think I'll actually stick with the Enhancement Shaman as well. It's really, really fun. Like the rotation is like very different. I'm playing Shadow Priest right now, so that's what I'm going to be comparing this to throughout the video. But like you can see in this video, like I don't have to do anything like to just turn on my damage, which is not the case at all with my Shadow Priest. I'm gonna be like not doing amazing damage here because this guy's like I literally just boosted him. He has like 230 eye level gear or something like that in this video. I'm doing the PLA legendary. I am running Necrolord. One of the cool things about Enhancement that I really like, one of the reasons that drew me even to Shadow Priest was that you have control over your damage profile as both a Shadow Priest and an Enhance. So, like on Shadow Priest, if I really want to go like big single target, I'll go like Hungering Void and I'll go Merilith, for example. It's even more extreme with Enhancement Shaman. This is so cool. Like all the effects. Look at that. Like you're just in there. You're just pressing buttons as they come up. So if you want to do that on Enhancement Shaman, then what you can do is you can go like really big AOE. Apparently with Venthyr and Doomwind, you can go really big single target with Night Fae and Witch Doctor legendary. You can go like really like flexible damage profile wise with Necrolord and the PLA legendary, and that's what I'm doing here. It's probably what I'll do the most often in Mythic Plus, but it's so cool because you can just like if I want to, I can do big funnel, or if I want to, I can switch over to doing big AOE, and really just by like just tab targeting, you know, and spreading more lava lashes because your top damage ability is like flame shock, right? And whenever you lava lash something, it does like extra flame shock damage on them basically. So you have like a lot of control over the type of damage you do and like the type of damage you want to do beforehand and like on the fly. You know, it's so like cool and flexible. So the other thing that's really weird about this is like it's it is a dot class. It's a multi-dot class, just like Shadow Priest, except you can spread your dots way easier than you do on Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest, you basically just have to like dot them all, you know, and when it falls off, you dot them again. But that's not the case at all with Enhancement Shaman. One thing that's very different is there's no like resources. Like I got this weak aura here for Maelstrom. Maelstrom should just be like a bar. Like I don't know why it's not a bar, but that's just dumb. I don't know what they're thinking with Maelstrom not being a bar. But you don't have to consume anything typically for your main rotation. Like you can consume Maelstrom for two things, for Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, but everything is just like on a cooldown with haste. So like you have like massive haste benefits as a Enhancement Shaman. You don't really have any cooldowns. You have dogs down here, you know, like you can send your dogs. I think I probably send my dogs. I should send my dogs here. I haven't gotten the hang of like, you know, actually playing this thing yet. I'm probably holding it, I think, for the boss. So, but yeah, like as I'm doing this, like I always have something to press. I never cannot do something useful. Like I always have AOE more or less passively. You know, like with what's a Storm Crash. There's a lot of synergy between the kit. You have like your Chain Lightnings reduce the cooldown on your Storm Crash, so you can spam those out. And when you're in these high haste situations, like the way that you become like a better player, it seems, is just by knowing like what spell to prioritize. Like you're never going to be able to actually do everything in like a CD window or in like, you know, a Bloodlust window or some high haste situation, but it's up to you basically to know like despite the fact that I can press 10,000 things right now, I should be pressing Lava Lash or I should be pressing, you know, Chain Lightning or Primordial Wave and spamming Lightning Bolt. Like there are all these like choices you have to make. And Lava Lash hits fucking hard. That is crazy. Like, one thing I didn't really like about Shadow Priest was that, okay, so imagine you're on the first boss of Plaguefall and you have the red puddle. You have so many different things you can do as Shadow Priest that it's not ever obvious what you should be doing. Like, should I be spamming Void Bolt just nonstop? Should I be spamming alternating Void Bolts with Mind Blasts because I have Mind Blaster out? I mean, the answer to that is probably yes, right? but it's not intuitive. But it seems like on that fight as Enhancement, I'm really just gonna wanna spam Lava Lash, like, and with that much haste, I'll literally be able to press only Lava Lash over and over again, and that's gonna feel like crazy. It might even be true that I don't even spend my Maelstrom during that window. Maybe I spend my Maelstrom on myself to heal myself so I can stand in the puddle more. If I don't trust my healer, right? Actually, I should do some tests to see like what the damage is of a Maelstrom Lightning Bolt versus a Lava Lash, for example, because that will be the answer to like what do you do in the puddle. But everything you do on this class is like really satisfying. You know, I have like no complaints so far. It's just like a lot of fun.
Nice.
There are cases where like when you're in, for example, Tazavesh Streets, all the bosses have like these garbage damage windows where like no DPS can even fit in like an entire rotation in their damage windows.
Yeah, like,
So as an enhancement shaman, like it's actually not a problem at all. Like especially that last boss, like you know I just go through a teleporter, I continue doing my damage, right? Like I don't have like an all-in damage window where all my damage is, like my Shadow Priest, where if I miss it, I'm just like completely screwed. One thing though about the Shadow Priest that's definitely better is like on the Shadow Priest on this pull, I would just spam Searing Nightmare and do huge damage. But as a enhancement shaman, like I've gotta spread my dots around enough so I can maybe use like a Fire Nova, but they're all dead by the time like I do that. So like I never have an opportunity to just like dump a bunch of crap right away. I think maybe my Earthshock was on my whatever this earthquake looking sundering, I think. Maybe that was on cooldown. Maybe I should have just saved it for that, but like and whatever. Still learning. I'm using this chance to do a couple of things I've never done before, which is like actually start using focus kick macros. So I've got, you know, focus on my F key, and I've got my primary interrupt that only works on focus. So I'm basically training myself to have to use focus or else I can't interrupt. And whenever you see a question mark over here on 5, it means I don't have my focus set, and that's probably going to be very often for a while until I get the hang of it. But yeah, it's just a very different damage profile. Like I'm running with a Demo Lock and a Rogue, and they're both basically cooldown classes. So like from pack to pack, they'll have like ebbs and flows of their damage. But I'm going to be completely consistent. So we'll have like I feel like it's a really nice, you know, feature to have as a enhancement shaman, like just knowing that there's like a baseline that you'll always have no matter what, and your other teammates, you know, will just add to it. Whereas there are some pulls where, you know, we blow everything and then we go into like, you know, like a shard or something, and like no one has anything, so we're just sitting there for a while with everything alive until we get our cooldowns back, and then it's like and then it's instantly dead. But there are a lot of like cool interactions. You know, it feels almost like an enhancement shaman. Sorry, I kind of went back in early there. I gotta get the hang of Feral Charge. But it feels like enhancement shaman is like a combination of a Shadow Priest and a monk. Like the way that I used to really like playing Windwalker Monk because I felt that being forced to use different moves every time for your mastery gave it like this kind of cool like rhythm to the rotation. It's less true now. I think like sometimes when you're a Necrolord, you don't even care about your mastery. You just like you know press spinning crane kick like 6 times in a row. You know, like so it's a bit different in this expansion, but enhancement shaman actually has that ebb in the rhythm. Like there's this hot hand talent that we take, and like there it's active right now. I made sure to make a weak aura for it, so I always know it's active, because then I know what I have to be doing is Lava Lash something, Lava Lash something. Like there are all these like, you know, internal like nuances to the rhythm of the cooldown cycle of the ability cycle.
I like Shadow Step to him.
And
like,
obviously
oh God,
even without hot hand proc, like everything else is cooldown based. So you just have to like know how to weave these things in like elegantly. Like when you're doing it right, it's like, oh yeah, that worked out pretty well. I think it mostly involves knowing when not to press other things. Like it seems like hot Lava Lash and Storm Strike are always pretty easy bets. Unless you're an AoE, then like you want to make sure you've got your crash buff up, which I do occasionally let fall off. It looks like every single one of those little gnomes ran away at the same time, so we have like no AoE damage anymore. That's kind of funny. But yeah, just knowing what to do and what not to do, because the other thing is like people do say that it's very punishing when you get it wrong, because you'll end up with empty globals, but a couple of empty globals as a punishment is like nothing, right? Like my punishment for
You're
getting
10K
my
over.
cooldown timings wrong
I know, it's nuts.
as a Shadow
What the
Priest
fuck
is
is
like
this
I lose
class?
all of my damage, right? And then I go back to doing 5k DPS until my cooldowns come back up. So this is nowhere near as hurtful as that. But I really love the like the cleave. Like look at the funnel. It's crazy. Like this Depths Warden is just gone, and my damage is top. Like on these 3 to 4 target pulls with priority mobs, like enhancement is
And I'm like not doing
crazy.
anything special right now.
These things just like melt
right
away. I mean,
still
obviously it's a
done.
10, but like I am in like terrible gear. I am in like, you know, like I'm like maybe 20 item levels under everyone else in the group. So I am I'm very impressed. I've got 229 weapons that I've been desperately trying to replace. That has not been going very well so far. I just hate the RNG. But finding groups as a shaman is definitely easier than finding groups as a Shadow Priest. And they're probably going to be somewhat flavor of the month, so you'll get extra invites at least for a while, you know, until people forget about enhancement because something else, you know, outscaled it or something.
I was like, holy.
The
fuck.
tier set looks
Your 10 as well.
interesting.
Wild.
I think the Shadow Priest tier set looks better to me. At least it looks like
he's
it's
got
more
it,
fun
nice
than the tier set for enhancement. It seems like enhancement is pretty single target oriented, although obviously having more dogs is better than having, you know, fewer dogs with the 2-piece. But the 4-piece seems like it's pretty single target oriented with Storm Strike. I don't know enough about enhance yet really to say, but just, you know, from first glance, I think that's, I mean, okay, I guess the TLDR is, well, here, let me jump ahead to the one part of the dungeon where I don't know exactly what to do yet, which is going to be the gauntlets. So here's the gauntlet. Gauntlet on my Shadow
It's really
Priest
hard to
is
spell
very
it probably.
fun because Searing Nightmare is always the right move. And I can just spam it in my cooldowns, and I do huge damage. Here, it's not exactly the same because there are so many mobs that I'm not exactly sure what is like the highest. Like it seems like I can't do huge uncapped AoE like at all unless I go with like that Doomwinds build. But I don't think the Doomwinds build is going to be the play because the opportunity cost is going to be very high for the rest of the dungeon. Like whenever it's like, you know, maybe like for DOS it would be okay if I really want to pad in Ardenweald, but there are still priority mobs in DOS, so
Slam.
I don't know. I'm gonna play with Venthyr a little bit when I get a chance. This part still seems unclear to me. But I'm doing a decent job of not dying,
You
which is great.
released Insta?
I haven't been melee in a long time. And this gives us, you know, a lot more kicks. I think actually, you know, I'm running with if I do run this in an organized group, I'll be switching priests. I'll be switching places with our Resto Shaman, who would go to Holy Priest. So we would actually have a net 1 kick loss. But I think it's still fine. Like me, you know, being able to do that kind of stuff instead of him doing it is like, you know, not a huge deal. Like you know, it's my job really to do that kind of stuff, and he can heal and do damage. Holy Priest do big damn, so maybe him focusing on damage more is like a bigger add. And he'll be able to actually give PI to our demo lock, who scales really well off of haste. So that will be another big damage buff, at least for the group. Maybe not for me. Apparently I want PI too, but I don't think I'm going to get PI over our demo lock. It's going to be very hard to justify that because he's just doing so much damage. Maybe if there's a pull where like it comes up late and he doesn't have cooldowns, maybe I get it, you know? Maybe you should spread the love around a little bit, you know? But yeah, okay. So I mean, TLDR is like enhance, super fun. It fills out our group pretty nicely because it allows us, the 3 of us that are playing DPS, to actually get into pugs because we have Bloodlust. It's very different from our Shadow Priest in damage profile wise. It's very consistent, which is something that our current group doesn't have. Our current group also doesn't have a lot of kicks because I'm a Shadow Priest and we have a lock and a rogue. So now we have like a lot more kicks with this, but we do give up a lot more CC. I feel like the CC story, ooh, 20k, huge. That's nuts. I feel like the CC story with Enhancement Shaman is definitely worse than at least like overall utility package. Like my priest has like AoE instant fear, instant ranged interrupt, instant stun, vampiric embrace, which does a ton of healing in my CD windows. Leap of Faith, which helps us do like, you know, pulls with our blood DK tank. We can yoink him back over. There's also utility that the Shadow Priest brings that that the shaman doesn't really have an answer for. Well, maybe I have to get used to it, but it just seems like that's the case with my current experience. Not that it's terrible, you know, but I would like to have, you know, something instant in terms of interrupts. That would be nice. I'm thinking about going High Mountain Tauren again, but I kind of want to just focus on being a pumper, you know. Even though I love High Mountain Tauren because you get like another movement ability and another CC, so it might actually be the play if I'm you know, being a team player. We'll see. We'll see. I will leave this video on the boss, I think. Maybe I'll just quickly commentary it. I'll do a commentary for the boss too because I've come this far, right? Why not? I think single target. Oh, I've learned on my Shadow Priest, always do full channel fleshcrafts if you want to be alive to actually do damage. I can help out on the relics a lot better as a shaman because I can just like, you know, just do my rotation while targeting that. Like it doesn't really matter what I target. So in the beginning, I don't have like this dot phase where I have to tab target anything. And well, I do have to tap target, but those things will be dead before that even becomes a problem. But I'm not sure. Yeah, so far it's hard to compare anything because like my gear is so shitty, right? I'm just assuming that once I get better gear and weapons that aren't, you know, 229, that I'll just do big damn. Like I think right here I should just be spamming Lava Lash, right? And maybe even to the exclusion of spending my Maelstrom if I have unlimited Lava Lashes. I've got to figure out like the single target situation for this. I keep on not doing my dogs. I gotta do my dogs. But yeah, okay. So that you get the idea. I like it. I'm gonna play it for a while. I'm not gonna give up Shadow Priest quite yet, unless I become like really into Enhance. But we'll see how it goes. Enjoy the rest of this boss fight, and I will see you next time. Good luck. Have fun.
The slime thing.